and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right, I'm going to start off first by giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaChakodash. Double honor to our apostles, the bishop, the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, breath, love unto you, elect, shalom unto you, your brother Shaquat, Las Vegas Church. Just want to tap into this image of the beast that's being set up around us. Okay, we've been watching, I think it was Three Square Market, have implants that unlock things. You can unlock the break room. Then they have chips that can lock doors in your house. It can unlock your car, start your car, so on and so forth. We saw Elon Musk putting in brain chips that can help people communicate through a computer system. We've seen them play chess and video games with these brain chips, talking about it can heal certain things, giving sight to the blind, and all these miracles that it's talking about. Well, this is all in the scriptures, okay? And as we're watching this unfold, now they're setting up the police state of where this is actually this image of the beast. And when you understand what the image of the beast, if you think it's a picture of JC, it ain't a picture of anything. It's a model way of life. They said China is the model for the rest of the world. It's a police state where everything's highly surveillance. They can monitor your thoughts. And with these shootings, mass situations. Well, how come it wasn't prevented? We could have prevented this if it was, from Charlie Kirk happening. If we would have done this and that. Okay, if we'd have had this, yeah. So what are they doing? They got Gideon out there where they're gonna go back and look at everybody's social media. Oh, he had anti-sim thoughts back in 2017. He had them again in 2022. And then like you just go through and you just nitpick all day. Then you watch people closer what they're, see, it's coming back and around again and he's doing it, you see? And everything that you think, and it could just be because you watched the movie, but everything that you think and everything that you search and everything that comes across your mind in this new world that they're setting up, okay, is going to be policed. That's what they want, complete control. And if you're out of control by their standard and they get to deem what's in control and what's out of control, then they can shut you off and ostracize you up out of the system. Okay? Now let me show you some technology. I'll get back and read this. It's just going to be a quick one. Just want to throw this out there and kind of show you these articles.
Okay, so this is the wildest shit. That is, I don't know if you can hear it, that is a cop drone. So they're actively looking for somebody. It followed the neighbor up the fucking stairs. Okay, cops everywhere. Fucking. Okay, so this is the wildest shit. That is, I don't know if you can hear it, that is a cop drone.
Okay, so they're following, and they showed this in movies. They're showing you what the plan was in these certain movies. Okay, the first Purge, the movie named The First Purge, the drug dealers and them were saving the city and all of Brooklyn or whatever city it was. Okay, that one they had drones flying around. Okay, they have them in They Live. They have them in Minority Report, which is also in Minority Report. They have where they were the thought police in that movie. Okay, this is what they're doing. You're setting it up completely, and it can be tracked by AI where you can be fatigued or you just miss something with human error. AI is not going to miss it. You always got to go back to what Reese said in the movie Terminator. Can't be bargained with, can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or fear or pain, and it absolutely will not stop. Okay? To the minute, and he says what he says after that. But yeah, so this is what it is. Oh, also, what is that, Songbird? With the CVID-23? Okay, in that movie, one guy, his job was to fly drones around and watch and fly drones around and deliver things. Okay? Let's give you another one.
So they're actively looking for somebody. It followed the neighbor up the fucking.
Okay, while I speak on this, before I bring the other video up, I'll speak on something here. And what's the purpose of this? Like, even in Minority Report, they had ground drones. They had them spiders so they can crawl around, and they had a bunch of legs where they can do a bunch of things. And AI was teaching it how to work. It would climb under stuff. Two of the spider legs would hold it up while it climbed under, and so on and so forth. All these things are put in these movies for nothing. This is technology that they're working on. Tesla has robots. What do you think is going to happen? They have sex robots. They have sex dolls. I keep seeing in these news feeds, news break or whatever, and you scroll down a little bit, Lamar Odom gets sex robot that looks like Khloe Kardashian, his ex-wife or whatever you want to call it. Like, this is what they're selling you this. In the movie The Sixth Day, they had all types of implants in you, and they were able to have robotics. And what's the other one? Schwarzenegger movie also, Total Recall. Okay, all of these have this technology, and that they're showing you what they're trying to do, but it also leads to control over the individuals. Okay, where they're ultimately trying to get to, the control over you private citizens, over you people. All your freedoms are being done away with right before your eyes. Okay.
This is using fake cell towers to turn your phone into a tracking device. It's a technology called Stingray. They put it in a vehicle and drive through a neighborhood, broadcasting a signal stronger than a real cell tower. Your phone is designed to automatically connect to the strongest signal, so it connects to the fake one, and you never knew it happened. Once you're connected, they have you. They can pinpoint your exact location in real time. And here's the most terrifying part. The Stingray doesn't just connect to the target's phone, it forces every phone in the area to connect to it. Your phone, your neighbor...
Wasn't that on Batman, the Dark Knight movie? And trying to think of his name, Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, say, this is beautiful, but this is also wrong. As long as this is here at Wayne, I won't be. You know, basically he was saying, like, this is wrong to surveil people to this degree. But this is what they're doing. That was in there. They used sonar in the other version. Then he made every self. It's exactly this technology. When you go back and watch that movie, exactly how he did it. And that's how he was able to find the Joker in that movie. You know?
Phone, anyone just walking down the street, it scoops up data from hundreds of people just to find one person. This isn't a theory. Forbes just uncovered a warrant showing ICE used one to track a person across a 30-block area in Utah. And they've spent millions on these cell site simulator vehicles. Your phone is constantly looking for a signal. You just have to hope it's a real one. ICE is using fake cell towers to turn your phone into a tracking device. It's a technology...
All right. Well, that Stingray is out there. Okay. And what the crazier part, the more addictive part to this is how, well, you know, diabolical part is that they made you addicted to these phones to where you can't go nowhere without them. You can't tell time without it. You know, you got a watch in your arm. The watch now is connected to the phone. It's smart and messages and internet. You can't operate life without a phone. How did they do it 30 years ago? How did anybody live beyond 30 years ago, plus years ago, without a smartphone in their pocket? And it's only been, these smartphones has only really been out maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years. It hasn't really been that long. I'm talking about smartphones. I think, yeah, you go back and there were Blackberries and you can get on the internet a little bit and it was grainy and it was kind of weird. But now this is full computer in your pocket now. Space of 10, 12 years. You go back before that, even right before cell phones, Blackberries and two ways and all those other things. You know, you go back before all of that, and what was it? It was, how did people ever survive and live every day without the technology? Well, that's how diabolical it is. And there's two generations now that don't know life without a computer or a smartphone. Okay? So this is what it is, and this is all boils down to the police state. Because who's going to be connected to this? Oh, we found the guy in Utah, as it says. Let me
called
go to that
Stingray.
part.
They put it in a vehicle and drive through a neighborhood, broadcasting a signal stronger than a real cell tower. Your phone is designed to automatically connect to the strongest signal, so it connects to the fake one, and you never knew.
You see? You never know what happened. So they're already tracking you.
happened. Once you're connected, they have you. They can pinpoint your exact location in
We can't forget about the facial recognition installed back in 2020, 2021. Okay?
time. And here's the most terrifying part. The Stingray doesn't just connect to the target's phone, it forces every phone in the area to connect to it. Your phone, your neighbor's phone, anyone just walking down the street, it scoops up data from hundreds of people just to find one person. This isn't a theory.
Okay? Just to find one person or to track all the people.
Forbes just uncovered a warrant.
A warrant. This is for a warrant. And we just saw something happen in Utah already. Just the past couple of days.
I mean, ICE used one to track a person across a 30-block area in Utah. And
you see that? See that? Okay.
Spent millions on these cell site simulator track a person across a 30-block.
An individual in Orem, Utah. Okay. This is what is that coincidence? I about to say I thought I found this before that. This is crazy. Look, in Orem, Utah. That's where what's his name with Charlie Kirk. The suspect had been ordered to leave the U.S. in 2023, but is believed to still be in the country. Investigators learned that last month, before going to Utah, he'd escaped prison in Venezuela, where he was serving a sentence for murder, according to the warrant. He also suspected of being linked to gang activity. So this ain't even the same guy. Or maybe they set this guy out. And they got the wrong guy now. You know? They say they got the guy, but the guy don't look like he can do nothing. It's something about the Charlie Kirk situation. The trace wasn't... when the government got the target's number, they first got a warrant to get its location. However, the trace wasn't precise. It only told law enforcement that the target was somewhere within an area covering about 30 blocks. That led them to asking court for Stingray-type device to get an accurate location. Okay? And then what do? Okay, well, we can send a van around and we'll have drones. This is way safer because now you don't know that van that's just circling the neighborhood, that ice cream man truck that's circling in the neighborhood, selling ice cream, has really got a tower on it. And those drones are flying about aren't just civilian drones. Those are police drones searching for anybody they deem an enemy combatant. And for any reason. He's known for looking at such and things on the internet. He's known for eventually following the Hebrew Israelites.
Area in Utah, and they've spent millions.
It can't be coincidence that was the same place. This is crazy. I just found that. You found it when I found it right now. All right, let's go to something else. Okay, so back to this image deal. This is from End Time Headlines. It says, where chip implants are heading should terrify all of us. Okay, come on, get out of here. It says, recent advancements in neural and bio-integrated chip implants have sparked widespread discussion about their potential to transform human capabilities, with applications ranging from medical breakthroughs to cybernetic enhancements reminiscent of science fiction. Of course, they show RoboCop, right? A report titled From Brain Bluetooth to Full RoboCop, where chip implants will be heading soon, published by the Conversation, explores the trajectory of this technology, highlighting both its promise and its ethical complexities. Drawing on insights from multiple news sources, this article examines the current state of chip implants and their projected future, weaving together perspectives on innovation, societal impact, and the challenges ahead. And we know through the prophecy what the societal impact is going to be. Police state. Okay? You got to live by the image of the beast. Okay? And it's only approved said things. And another movie I like that had a semblance of the image of the beast was Fahrenheit 451. Now, I still want to go back and watch the older version, but the new version with Michael Shannon and Michael B. Jordan was a really good movie, man. It's one of my favorites. Okay, it says the conversations report outlines how chip implants are evolving beyond simple medical devices such as cochlear implants or pacemakers into sophisticated systems capable of interfacing directly with the brain or enhancing physical abilities. Now let's go see what we need to look at. Okay, so ChatGPT. Now the question I asked, and this is crazy in itself. ChatGPT, if you can ask a good question, you can get some good answers. Okay, summarized, and this is what I asked for: summarized info on connecting Palantir and Gideon as dystopia. Okay, and just something basic. It's not basic, but something that'll kind of see where this is going. Okay, Palantir from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series, right? The Seeing Stones. It says purpose, tools for knowledge and communication. Okay, sounds like easy. Internet kind of does some of that, right? Dystopian turn, instead of liberating, they became instruments of deception, the media today, right? Fear. Hey, man, you watch some of this stuff as far as the girl being stabbed on the train in Carolina, and even some of the Charlie Kirk videos and breakdowns. This stuff is looking crazy, and it's inciting a certain energy on the people, the deception and fear and control. Because if they can get the likely response, then they know how to control from that response. Okay, especially the desired response. Okay. Surians manipulated detonator. I don't watch the movies through a Palantir, showing only despairing visions, so they can show you only what they want you to see. Okay. Lesson: access to knowledge without wisdom can enslave rather than free. That's why this is important to have this. No, not that Gideon. That's not the Gideon we're talking about. That the name is special, but let's see. Let's get this Gideon a different way to say it. All right, so it took a little while to get this one. It had to think for better answers. Yeah, dig for it. All right, put this AI to use. It says thought for 6 seconds. Wow, and that was longer. Short source. And the question I asked: an internet search program Gideon and Palantir to police the people through technology. So it kind of came up in my brain. So hopefully that would have gave me a reasonable answer. It says short source briefing on Gideon plus Palantir used to police people through technology. What they are and how they work together in practice, and the main risks what these systems are. Gideon, as currently marketed, a AI-powered threat detection platform that scans online activity in real time and flags language or patterns of the vendor says indicate radicalization or planning of violence. Okay, they're gonna be pushing for this. This came out right before these shootings and these tragic events, right? It's been demo pitched publicly as a tool for law enforcement in schools. Palantir, a major data integration analytics company whose platforms are widely used by police, intelligence, and immigration agencies to merge many data sources and run analytics for investigation/operations. And there's the one that is going to be connected to this is APHIS. I forget the acronym for APHIS, but I watch a little bit of Forensic Files, and they talk about APHIS all the time. It's a database that has all the criminals, logged into there in their fingerprints. Okay? And so they're going to have all of this information at the ready of an instant. So when the police goes back and runs your plate or runs your name, your ID or whatever, Palantir is going to make it easy to have all of this pop up. But Gideon will also be able to, Palantir will also be able to add the information that Gideon can now add to it about your internet searches. Yeah, because you'll know that, okay, I had a couple speeding tickets and parking tickets, whatever. But what you didn't, and then my finger, and I did something and they found my fingerprint somewhere, whatever. But what they didn't have before, saying the fingerprint part, if you add APHIS. But what Gideon will do is, oh, but he's on the internet trolling, doing these things, saying these things. Okay? So all this will bring all that, which will create a profile on you, like the show, all these cop shows. What's this? It's a hit show too. Criminal Minds. The unsub is always being broken down. They're figuring him out, and they solve the crime by they figured out how he thinks. And this is what they're doing. They're going to use AI to be. And what's funny, the guy, I think his name, the main guy on there, his name was Gideon, if I recall, on the show. Wow. Yeah, I believe his name was Gideon, the main character on Criminal Minds. I think the older show anyway, the original show was Gideon. Anyway, Palantir publicly sells the capability to link, query, and operationalize disparate data sets, basically bringing different platforms and different things off the internet together, different forms of data together. So they can bring your fingerprint from APHIS. They can bring your police record from here. They can bring the Gideon here. And then they can bring the medical records from there. And then your bank statements from this bank and so on and so forth. The question says how they could be combined to police the people, mechanics of it, data, ingestion, and linkage. And internet scanning AI like Gideon flags individuals, accounts, or posts that output can feed into Palantir type system. See, they're breaking down what I already said, which links those flags and identity data. Okay, ALPR, phone data, criminal records, immigration records, social graphs, where you live, the demographic, what cell towers you hit off of. Okay, just like the one I just did, Stingray. Okay, and produces investigator-ready profiles, real-time alerts, optimization. The combo enables near real-time alerts and tasking. Send an officer, open an investigation, place someone on a watch list. Demo materials for Gideon emphasize real-time threat detection. Palantir products emphasize turning data into operations. They can now put it together. Now they can create that profile on you. Main harm and civil liberties risks. False positives and overreach. Automated flagging of radical words or worrisome, and then satire, is a thing that people is a tool. Okay, some people say things in satire, and it's taken wrong. Comedians do this all the time. They're some of the biggest free speech advocates out there. Because I said it a certain way doesn't mean I'm going to perform it, but because I said it, and the internet saw that I said this, and I said it in a joking way, now you're taking it as it's something real. That, oh, I really meant it. No, I would never consider doing it. But because I said it, now you have to take it as I said it. So what is that policing? My speech. Okay? And it's going to say, or worrisome behavior online can mislabel people, mental health signals, sarcasm, research political speech, and trigger intrusive policing. Gideon marketing emphasizes flagging language patterns. That's exactly where false positives happen. Mass profiling, right? Mission creep. Linking multiple data sets can create comprehensive profiles used beyond the original purpose. Investigation, continual surveillance, or administrative actions. Civil liberties critics call on this an invisible dragnet. And if you know what the show Dragnet, for y'all that remember TV from the 60s, I believe it was, or 70s. It was a police when they're really searching for somebody. They're drag, it's like a drag net in the waters of a lake or an ocean or whatever, and they're combing it to get whatever they can get out. Okay, and it shows in the show, I remember the show, not because I'm that old, but, in publication or whatever, or re-syndication, when it came out, it showed them going and asking people, trying to asking questions, talking with just the facts, ma'am, all these different situations to where they're getting all this info, and just to be able to try to find the perpetrator. Okay? It says, yep, civil liberties such as invisible dragnet, right? It said, bias and discriminatory impact. Algorithmic models trained on historical data often reproduce policing biases, disproportionately flagging marginalized communities. That's you, Negro, Latino, Native American Jakes. Okay? Oh, and we saw this guy, Kirk, he was always talking about how we do more crime, how blacks and Hispanics do more crime. So they should be policed more. He has sound bites of this type of stuff. This is the thinking that's going on by the people that will be programming this. They're not going to let a Jake program this, a regular old guy. It's going to be somebody that's approved of with their moral setup and standard. Okay? Independent reviews of predictive policing and analytics tools show this pattern, and legal pushback has followed. Okay, I should have brought it up earlier, but let me read this now. Isaiah 29 and 21. Yep, it says start 20. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make them, and this is what those people do. This is when we're going to get rid of those. You Edomites and you wicked Jakes, particularly those in power. That make them, and this is what they're doing this now. The Lord will eventually cut this off. What this is talking about, this type of person off. Okay? The terrible one is brought to naught, to nothing. The scorner is consumed. Going to get rid of the scorners. Charlie Kirk will be a scorner. Okay? And all that watch for iniquity are cut off. All those, the World Star people that run that, and all the people that just sit back and look at Jake and push things, the Leor Cohens, okay, that push out degenerate music on Jake and profit off of it, that want all this to happen, okay, they're all going to be cut off. But it says, this is what they did, that make a man an offender for a word. This system will begin to make you an offender for free speech, because it won't be free anymore, okay? And lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. And see, now we're caught up because we know the truth. So the things we say, Gideon and all of that's going to sweep right through us. Our main way to push this word out is through the internet. So Stingray is going to sting us. So being able to create a profile with Palantir to see exactly, okay, they congregate every Sunday over at this area, at this place. Okay, they every Saturday they're over here on the boardwalk. Oh, they're always over here doing this. They always go to this house on that day. They always they go to work this way. And we're gonna, and they can set up profiles, and now they can triangulate and do all these other things. Okay, and turn aside the just thing for a thing of naught. The just for a thing of naught. Okay, basically don't want anybody to reprove. And like the elder said when he was talking to vocab back in Dallas, he was like, how come it wasn't a problem till we start repenting? Now that we've woken up and told our people, hey man, stop being a degenerate and now repent. Now we're the worst thing on the internet. We're the worst thing in society now. Oh, we're trying to save your soul. You're not trying to save our soul. Go save the molesters that are down the street, man. Go save, some other people that's around the corner believing in something else. Go save them that don't like the Bible. Go save them homeless people that hate Jesus or whatever else. Go save, other people somewhere else. Go do something. Why are you messing with us? Why are we the worst threat in the world? Because we're a threat to their supremacy. The information we hold is a threat to their way of life. And the confidence we have of the Lord performing what he said he would do when they force us to get into the image of their system, to worship the image of the beast, and we deny it. And the Lord said, don't worry about it. Just deny it and I'm going to take care of you. They don't want that. Everybody has to not have the faith to believe the Lord is going to deal with them. Okay? But we have the belief. Lord, if we stay true with the Lord going to stay true and do what he said he would do. He will feed us when everybody else is hungry. He's going to give us drink and give us safety and joy when all things are chaotic. Okay? Let's go back. This ChatGPT going in, right? Bias and discriminatory impact. Algorithmic models trained on historical data of what the police have been doing, of what the society has been, the systemic issues have been had from that perspective. They're not going to go to the people and be like, okay, you Hebrew Israelites, you guys are really for your people being right. Let's let you set it up. Set the standard. Let's let the apostles set the standard on what should be the criteria for the world. And they can use the Bible to do it. They're not going to do it. Okay? Because a lot of higher ups are freaks. And they want to do all kinds of freaky shit, man. Okay? And they want to make sure they keep us down so they don't ever get into power, because they know what the prophecy says. That when we come back into power, they're going to go out. They're going to go into captivity. Okay? And all the nations are against that. Right? Anyway, it says reproducing policing bias. Disproportionate. See, the system keeps us, and this is something that Kirk talked about, would argue, and they show it happening. You know, I've been watching on certain things that are popping up now, some of his debates, how he dismantles what's it called? Giving reparations to Negroes. It's like, well, they've had 150 years. How come they can't figure it out? Like, what? You know, well, the system is that, okay, you say we're free, but the system's still set up. Because you're still in the say, well, other immigrants did it. The small hats, they did it. The other immigrants, the Asians, they did it. How they do it? And the truth is, they did it with reparations due to history. And see, no one knows these things because they hide it. So how can this be factored into anything to give us real justice and judgment? That's why the Most High has to send his son back to put us in position. Once we get our minds right, either we get our minds right now through and get salvation, or we, after death by pain, we'll have our minds right with the second covenant put in us. Okay. Anyway, it says disproportionately flagging marginalized companies. Independent reviews of predictive policing and analytics tools show this pattern, and legal pushback has followed. Legal constitutional challenges. Courts and regulators are already pushing back. German rulings limited police use of Palantir-style analytics because of privacy and profiling concerns. That shows real legal risks for wide deployment without safeguards. Evidence of this happening being pitched. Gideon has been publicly promoted as an AI threat detection engine for law enforcement in schools, video games, demos, TV pitches. Vendors and advocates explicitly compare it to Palantir level tech in capability. Palantir is already embedded in many police and government workflows. Reporting in opinion pieces warn that such systems can normalize broad surveillance and target vulnerable groups. We want this area of the city because we want to build it up before the Olympics come. Okay, well, we're going to police this. You know, instead of dropping drugs in the hood or heavy policing in that area and picking up all the population, which we know they're mostly Negroes and Latinos, well, we'll just take them off the streets and deport them or whatever, and then we'll put our certain people in. These are just possibilities of things that could happen. This opens up that Pandora's box for this, okay? This is part of the system, but I bet you what won't happen. In the movie RoboCop, there was something called Directive 4, for you that know that 80s movie. I don't know if it's in the new one. I haven't seen the new one, but in the 80s movie, there was something called Directive 4. And what that was is they had diplomatic immunity. They had an immunity of some sort. You couldn't arrest somebody that worked for the company or higher up. Couldn't do it, no matter how criminal they were. And he was actually the real villain bad guy in the movie, but you couldn't do it. It paralyzed RoboCop, if you remember that movie, right? Practical safeguards and policies that reduce risk. All right. Human in the loop that tells you how you can reduce it. Okay. And that's that. So you can pause it and go back and read this stuff. Okay, I'll scroll up one more time for you. Let's pause and read if you want to. But yeah. Okay. But we know all these helps aren't going to happen. We know the policing is what's really going to happen. And I mean the negatives form of policing. All right. So let me read Revelation and then I'll close. Okay. Revelation chapter 13, the point is 15 always. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. And they're showing you how it's speaking through their technology. These are miracles, modern miracles through technology now. Okay, where AI can do the thinking and do the legwork, where you don't have to wait. If I'm over here in Arizona and I don't have to wait till something from Connecticut finally, Western Union's all the way over till I can really get it, or a telephone sped it up, but then the email didn't come fast enough. So now Palantir Instant, where it goes right to the street, where the cop on the street can access this, or the robot on the street can access this immediately. Okay. And called that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. That's a digital implant chip, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. This is the incentive. I'm saying it in a nice way. This is the penalty. Unless you have this, you can't be in this. If you don't allow us to police you, just like these cookies now. Okay, you add an app or whatever on your phone, you want access to a certain website, you have to approve these cookies to be able to read or whatever you're going to do on that website now. And a lot of those now are starting to be mandatory. You can't get past it without agreeing to the cookies. And in the cookies, they say we can use your data for whatever we want. And what do you think that data is going to go? Stingray, Palantir, Gideon, okay? It's where you can see this easily going. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This is why we have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He's going to take care of all of our needs. That we stay morally right and spiritually right, moving in the spirit, okay? Staying as a show of faith through our conduct and our works. Hey, the Lord's going to stay with us and protect us, man. But we got to do our part. So, Lord willing, is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. To the next one, Shalom.